Like the timer's actually working now. I've got to stop using Streamlabs. Seriously, this app that I use to stream. Hello, everybody. This app that I use to stream Streamlabs. Every time I try and stream these days, it fucks up for about 10 minutes and then eventually starts working. So maybe I'll need to go look for something different. I was streaming directly through YouTube for a while, but it tended to degrade the quality of my videos, which is rubbish because then you couldn't read the cards. So I went back to an older app that I had been using in the past called Streamlabs, and that seemed to be fine for months, years even maybe, and now over the last couple of sets it has just fucked up. But hello and welcome in. Let's go over to my PC here in my living room. Just make sure that I can hear myself on the screen. I'm pretty sure I can. In my living room. Just make sure that I can hear myself. Yes, I certainly can. Excellent. Right then, let's head off to Magic Puzzle Quest. I know what that is now. I know what that little blue kind of eye thing is. It's a storm, isn't it? It was on one of the cards. We found it. So should be able to get through all this in an hour. Really? Shouldn't we? Not too much of the set left. About 70 cards, I think. And yeah, let's hope there's at least one thing in it worth playing. I mean, like, if we find one card, that's about as good as Foundations, isn't it? Foundations basically just had mystical teachings. Confiscate is too good, but you know, it's a little fiddly to use, isn't it? You probably, like with most things in Magic Puzzle Quest, you probably want to play with your own stuff rather than with Greg's stuff, you know, because you don't know what kind of rubbish cards Greg's going to be playing, and you can put good cards in your own deck. So yeah, I'd stand by Confiscate being too good, and yet, you know, I understand why a lot of people, including myself, I'm not playing it. I don't even really like to play Assimilation Aegis, you know. Don't really like to play with that many. Just borrowing Greg's creature for the turn. Don't really like that in case it hits him too hard, you know. But that's me. So yeah, if we find one good card, and I think we probably will today, Will of the Teamers coming up, isn't it? Which I can't remember exactly what it does, but I think it's a loopy card. Then yeah, then it's as good as Foundations. So, you know, last time I was getting very depressed. I was talking a lot, wasn't I, about the end of Power Creep and things like that. And but yeah, you know, if it's as good as Foundations as a set, maybe it's not. It feels bad, doesn't it? It feels bad because Dragonstorm card. Because all those kind of mid cards, all those cards in the middle you'd expect to do something, they're kind of particularly bad, you know? The playable things. Hello, who's in? Hello, welcome in. Yeah, I mean, the bloody 10 mana thing that just does a Surveil 2 and nothing else. That might be one of the worst cards I've ever seen in my entire life. But I think they've forgotten to write something on that. I'm not going to go and find that card because I can't remember what it's called. Where did we get to? Oh, I know why. Oh, damn it, I've cleared the filters. I know what I've done. What I didn't do was... I've got sausage fingers today. What I didn't do was show all cards. There we go. And now the cards will be where I'm expecting them to be. Because we got about as far... a Songcrafter Maze, didn't we? There might be something here. There might be. It did occur to me that you can like go infinite with Sylvan Tutor with this, can't you? You know? Do we care? I mean, you've got to play with like only one spell in the deck if you do, and you fill up Greg's hand with mana if you do. It does seem like you could go infinite with this thing with some variety of cards. I suppose Summoner's Pact will do it in Legacy, won't it? It's just a matter of whether we care that you can go infinite with this thing. Anyway, I've got it, as it turns out. It's one of the first rares that I opened randomly, but I'm not excited by it. Did we get as far as Sonic Shrieker? I'm pretty sure we did. Let's do it anyway. When this creature enters the battlefield, deal 2 damage to any target. Your opponent discards a card, they gain 2 life. Do you mana 4/4? Yeah, that's not powerful enough, is it? And I don't think we got to Spectral Denial. Drain X mana from your opponent's hand. X is the number of creatures and creature reinforcements you control, up to 10. Wow. As if draining mana wasn't bad enough. Yeah, they then tied it to having a bunch of creatures on the table as well. And again, with the flash. Stadium Headliner. 4 mana 1/1. Okay. Okay. I mean... no, we don't care about that. Activate 2. So we've got Mobilize is what it's called. Yeah, I have to remind myself what the icons are called. Activate 2. You may destroy this card. Bad start. If you do, deal X damage to the first opposing creature with the greatest power. X is the number of creatures you control, including their reinforced. This is amazing, isn't it? I mean, look at that artwork, right? It's somebody throwing a goblin at somebody. The pieces are there. In the mechanics, the pieces are there, aren't they? This is a creature that throws other creatures, yeah, at stuff. Yeah, and it's even got Mobilize as well. Yeah, so it's creating creatures to throw at creatures. All the pieces are there in the design of this card, but it throws itself and doesn't care about the mobilized creatures. Yeah, and also doesn't even create the mobilized creatures until after you've popped the activate gems, because mobilize is created in combat, isn't it? I mean, this was somebody's first day. Even Kevin knows enough about the game to not have designed like this card. I really feel like they've taken somebody new on. I mean, they are stepping up the number of cards they release, aren't they? Yeah, we're looking at 6 sets a year now, every 2 months. So my conspiracy theory tinfoil hat brain is saying to myself that they've taken on somebody else, an extra person, to design the cards and just not told them how the game works. Or it's ChatGPT. One of the two. Anyway, that's bad, isn't it? Stalwart Successor. When a non-token creature you control is reinforced, that creature gets +1/+1. This effect can trigger up to 2 times per turn. It's funny what they put triggers on, isn't it? I don't know. I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered to use the mental energy to process that one. When this creature enters the battlefield, your token creatures gain flying. This is a 14 mana 1/3. What is going on? It doesn't even get bigger. It's just a 14 mana 1/3. Yeah. I'm. Your token creatures get flying. At the beginning of combat on your turn, a random non-token creature you control gains flying. Lots of words that don't mean anything, because flying is basically nothing. This is a 14 mana 1/3. Have fun mastering that bad boy. It could be worse. It could be slower, I suppose. I mean, I suppose it's gonna animate every combat. Oh dear, what's happened? There we go. It's going to animate on every combat, giving something flying, but it could run slower than that. But Jesus, Stillness in motion. At the beginning of your turn, destroy the top 3 cards of your library. Right, so nothing there yet. When this support is destroyed, oh Christ. So it's doing nothing the whole time it's in play. And you could, but when you destroy it, it has 3 shields. That's going to take a while. Return the first 4 cards from your graveyard to your hand. Then the last card in your hand gains full mana. Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed this, but there are quite a lot of cards at the moment that put a card in your hand and give it full mana a lot faster than you can get it with this thing. Storm Beacon Blade. When this support enters the board, your first creature gets +3/+0. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 2 or more creatures, draw a card. I mean, frankly, this is amazing compared to just the last few cards we've all looked at. Frankly, this is a real powerhouse. I mean, this is proper, you know, like all the way up to mid-low shit tier. This is way above low shit tier. This is an amazing card compared to the gank we've just scrolled past. Stormplane Detainment. When the support enters the board, exile. Oh, this is going to be a bind card, is it? Yes. Exile target opposing creature. Then that creature gets a bind emblem when the support is destroyed. Hang on. Return the last card with a bind emblem from your opponent's exile to play under your control. Yeah, it's always worth reading these bind cards just because, you know, there is one that, like, when the support blows up, the card goes into your hand and it puts mana into it, isn't it? And that one's playable certainly in Colours of Magic, where nobody can gain any mana. But, yeah, this or Requisition Raid, what do you want to play with? Stormscale Scion. Looks pretty badass. At the beginning of combat on your turn, dragon creatures you control get +1/+1. This is a 24 mana 4/4. Holy God. Dragon creatures you control get +1/+1 for each of their reinforcements until the beginning of your next turn. When you cast a card, reinforce this creature. Okay, right. So at least it does get considerably bigger than that. Yeah, and like reasonably fast, I suppose. The beginning of combat on your turn, dragon creatures get +1/+1 for each of their reinforcements. So it's a 4/4, and every time you cast a card from your hand, so not summoning tokens, but anytime you play a card, it's going to get +4/+4, and then it's got this extra little weird clause where, so it's kind of a 5/5, right? Yeah, because every reinforcement it's got, it's an extra stack on the 4/4s, and then on combat it gets +1/+1 for each reinforcement. So it's basically kind of a 5/5. It does also give that little bonus to all your other dragon creatures. It's not just itself. But, I mean, way too expensive. You know, it does redeem itself a little bit because from being a 24 mana 4/4, because it obviously stacks itself up. But not a lot. Not much better. I mean, even, you know, much slower than this to pump itself up is Rakdos, but I know which one I'd be playing with. Jeez. Much faster to pump itself up. Temet. How about that? Yeah? Temet exists. I mean, it's somewhere in high shit tier, but I don't think it's very high up in high shit tier, to be honest. But yeah, high shit tier. Stormshriek Feral does a load of rubbish things. Discard the last card without mana in your hand, then draw 2 cards for 13 mana. This kind of thing cost 5 mana. doesn't it? In Origins, in that old janky set with all completely full of cards that we basically don't play with anymore because they're not powerful enough. It cost 5 mana. Strategic Betrayal. Exile type creature. Exile all cards from your opponent's graveyard. I mean, we can almost talk about this, can't we? Almost talk about this. Yeah, we need... We kind of need something. We would kind of like something to exile your opponent's graveyard. Yeah, it's nice that they've put it onto a spell that ostensibly is the kind of effect you'd want. A 1-for-1 removal card is ostensibly the kind of thing that you might like. But of course, here in 2025, 1-for-1 removal cards kind of suck now, especially at 12 mana. So I kind of like what they were going for, you know. People always say, don't they? You know, it's easy to beat Grist. You just get him to exile his graveyard. No, it's not. It's not easy to beat Grist like that. It's very difficult to beat Grist like that. But if they made a bunch of really good cards that did a load of other stuff in addition to exiling graveyards, then we could start to talk about that kind of thing. But this ain't it. Sultai Devotee. Zombie Snake Druid. Of course it's a Zombie Snake Druid. I could tell that just by looking at it. Activate 2, convert a gem, a single gem to your Planeswalker's colours. Sultai Monument. Right, okay. This is another one of those conversion into 3 colours. Summit Intimidator. Don't we have one of these? I am going to go and look this up in Origins. 10 mana, reach 4/3. When this creature enters a battlefield, target opposing creature can't block. Yeah, I mean, that's basically nothing. Target opposing creature can't block. I am just going to go and look this up in Origins. Excuse me a second. Oh, it cost 11 mana. It cost 11 mana in Origins. And here in Dragonstorm, did it cost 10 mana? It's power creep, everybody! It's ridiculous power creep. Yeah, 10 mana. Wow. Back in the day, we had to spend 11 mana on this kind of card. But now, here in the year of 2025, with its broken power creep, we can get it for 10. Sunpearl Kyrin. When this creature enters the battlefield, return a random opposing creature or support to their owner's hand. That's okay, isn't it? Again, you know, 1-for-1 removal. Has kind of had its day. It's nice and cheap, though. You could play that for a single mana swap, couldn't you? It gains half its mana, rounded down. Okay, that's not good. Then draw a card. And it's got flash. Yeah. It's alright. It's alright if 1-for-1 removal was any good. And it kind of isn't. I mean, you kind of can't rely on it. It's a random opposing creature or support. Can't really rely on it hitting what you want it to hit. You would think that it would hit a creature first and then a support. Cards like this tend to do that, in my experience. Rather than... Oh, I suppose Rakdos will hit a support when there's creatures in play, won't it? I think so. I'm not sure. You'd have to test it. Anyway, it's not particularly high power. It's better than some of the rubbish we've been looking at today, though. 6 mana, 3/1. Activate 1 red, gain 3 mana. Right, just give it every turn. Activate 1 black. You may destroy this card. Deal 2 damage. Right. Surak, Elusive Hunter. Can't have its mana drained or raised. Well, you better give us a good reason for that. At the beginning of your turn, spell cards in your hand gain 2 mana. When your opponent casts a creature card, draw a card. This effect can trigger up to 4 times a turn. Again, where's the necessity of putting the trigger limit on it there? You know? So how are you going to build this into a combo deck? You're going to build a combo deck and then just ask your opponent to play an infinite number of cards, of creature cards, are you? Where's the necessity to put the trigger limit here? Maybe high mid shit tier. Synchronized charge. Your first creature gets +2/+2 and vigilance. Okay, that's rubbish. That's a very large harmonized cost for such a rubbish effect. Tygam, Master Opportunist. Oh, I think I've seen this one. This one might be all right. 10 mana 2/2. Nothing exciting there. Alignment blue. That is when you play your first monocolored blue card for the first time. Create a copy of the first card in your opponent's hand. It gains full mana. This effect can only trigger once a turn. Okay. So does it trigger? The question is, does it trigger off itself? And it probably should. What does it say? When you cast. So it probably doesn't. If it triggered off itself, that would be worth thinking about, wouldn't it? I mean, not great, you know. Again, what we generally want a whole string of cards coming as fast as possible, you know, every turn. But you know, I suppose you are getting, yeah, you can get, you know, on the regular because alignment blue does it. But you would assume with the word cast there that it can't see it. It's not about creature coming entering the battlefield where it would be able to see itself. Generally, when they have this cast wording on it, they can't see themselves. So yeah, you might think that it doesn't do it, you know. Certainly not worth buying for money, is it? If it can't currently be obtained from card packs. I guess it's all right. I guess. Not great. Teeming Dragonstorm. This is another returny thing. Support enters the board, create 2 soldier tokens. Dragon creature enters the board, return to your hand. Yeah, rubbish. Tempest Hawk. When this creature deals combat damage, fetch the first creature card from your library with mana value 7 or less. So immediately what I'm thinking here is that, you know, for objectives, there might be an objective somewhere, and it summons itself, doesn't it, you know? So you can just get a string of these coming in. It does have to attack. It's not like you play it and you immediately get another one like you do with some cards. Like Sylvan Messenger is a favourite one for people in Seize the Day, isn't it? Because you need to play a bunch of creatures, and Sylvan Messenger's just constantly fetching the next one. You know, I think it fetches an elf, doesn't it? So you can get it to fetch something else, but mostly people just get it to fetch a string of itself. But yeah, so, you know, it's very low power card, but there is the possibility there of, you know, if you have to do one of these irritating web core objectives where you've got to play 6 birds. In fact, I think maybe even, does this weekend's coalition event, Seasons of Bloomborough, doesn't that have a objective where you've got to play birds? There's one where you've got to play frogs. Well, you don't have to play frog. It names a bunch of creature types. One of them's frog, and I know the reason I know it's frog is because I play Pond Prophet there. So anyway, put this one in the back of your mind. It's bad, but you know, you often have to play bad cards for objectives. Temple of the Dragon Queen. Now this one was spoiled, isn't it? This one's all right, but it is too expensive. Temple of the Dragon Queen. When the support enters a board, convert 4 gems to the most present colour on the board. That's not great, is it? it's not a sunken citadel, you know. It's definitely not a cut your losses. You're not particularly likely to get a cascade off that, although it's vaguely possible in the outside. The more important thing is at the beginning of your turn, convert 4 gems to the most present colour on the board. But it's 16 mana for 4 gems when, you know, we've got Cryptex, yeah? 10 mana for 5 gems. Then, if you behold a dragon, the first dragon card in your hand gains full mana. But it's not a mana filler giver, isn't it? Because it's not drawing you that dragon. You have to actually already have the dragon in your hand. So I can't in all conscience say this is a bad card, but as a resource gainer like this, it's too expensive, you know. Swarmyard, Overlord of the Flood Pits, these things are nice and cheap. You can get them down in a single turn. You can get them down on turn 1. You can't really play this thing on turn 1. You might not get it down on turn 2. It's too expensive for my liking. It's okay. Maybe people want to play with some. I mean, it's got more power to it than, well, slightly more power than the other lands in the set, hasn't it? Because a lot of the other lands, they're what, 14 mana for 4 gem conversion? Slightly more power to it than those. Yeah, it's not what I want from a resource generator at all, I'm afraid. Timur Battlecrier. The beginning of turn, your spells cost 1 less to cast. I mean, it seems too low power, doesn't it? It seems too low power. It reads like it's permanent, yeah? Like every turn, it's constantly reducing the cost of spells in your hand, which is not exciting, is it? Like, you don't really want to sit. You don't want to sit for even 3 turns to make a 3-cost spell free, do you? That just doesn't seem like a way that you want to play this game. So, I don't know. I can't really think of a use for this. It doesn't cost 11 for Colours of Magic, and even if it did, would we care? Probably not. Probably not. If it made your opponent's spells cost 1 more, maybe you look at it then, and it cost 11. Yeah, you maybe look at it then for Colours of Magic. But I have been testing out Charitable Levy in Colours of Magic. I don't know, cards like that, for me, they never really seem to slow Greg down very much. But I'm testing it out anyway. I'm busy playing Quintorius Canned at the moment in Colours of Magic. I've kind of had enough of trying to play fair in Colours of Magic. I enjoy playing, you know, a nice control deck with Dakon. But when you come up against a full power Grist in Colours of Magic, there's not much you can do except, well, play Grist yourself, of course, but I never really won for the mirror matches, you know, or just try and play a really unfair game. And that's kind of what I'm doing with Quintorius Canned at the moment. Because you can just stall out with his first ability and then win with his ultimate ability, and it kind of doesn't matter what happens in the rest of the game. A little aside for you there. Timur Devotee. Activate 1 green, blue, or red, convert a gem to green, blue, or red. Right. Just extraordinarily rubbish. Why would you want Defender on a resource generating card like that? Don't know. Timur Monument is another one of those things. When this creature enters the battlefield, discard a card, then draw a card. Yeah, it's almost like they're deliberately avoiding 11-cost cards, aren't they? It's like almost like, no, you've had all the cards that we want to give you in Colours of Magic, so we're going to make everything else cost a different amount of mana than 11. It's bad. Anyway, Tersa Light Shatter. Okay, so this is getting close. Oh, hello, the Hunter. Yes, no, I had been planning to do this stream next week, hadn't I? Because I have been having trouble with my teeth and talking generally. But I was feeling pretty good today, and I did want to kind of knock this one out. And then I'd actually seen all of the cards myself. You know, it's like I try not to spoil too many of the cards myself before the set review. I've seen some of them before. But I kind of wanted to get to the end of it, you know, because we're getting into week 2, week 3. There's those elite packs, you know. When the elite packs are rolling around, I kind of want to know which cards I should actually be chasing. So I thought I would knock it off today. So I apologise for announcing loudly to everybody that I was probably going to do it next week and then jumping on today. But there you go. Shall we have a look at Tersa Lightshatter? This is an Orc Wizard. There it is. When this creature enters a battlefield, discard the last 2 cards of your hand. Then draw 2 cards. Threshold 1. When this creature attacks, return a random card from your graveyard to your hand. That card gains full mana. So, yeah, this is Mana Filler Giver adjacent. The problem is that Threshold 1, isn't it? Yeah, so in order for you to have Threshold 1, there has to be 1 Tersa Lightshatter in your graveyard. Now, you would imagine if you put 10 cards into your graveyard, and your deck has 10 different cards in it, then maybe there's a Tersa Lightshatter in those 10 cards. But that's quite a lot, isn't it? It's quite a lot of cards to drop into your graveyard, 10 cards. Especially when this, when you read it closely, does not discard 2 cards every turn. This discards 2 cards when it enters the battlefield, but not every turn. So this card's only putting 2 cards into the graveyard. And it's basically a worthless creature until you have got another copy of this in the graveyard. I mean, you can gather the pact it, but, you know, again, at that point, you're just thinking, well, I'll just go and play with Loot instead then. Thanks very much. Loot and Cruel Claw and Dragonhawk, obviously. So, yeah, it seems like quite a small drawback. Threshold 1, that seems like a low number. But I think it's too much, personally. T-Val, Arbiter of Virtue. Got a 16 mana 6/6 with lifelink. When you cast a card, oh yeah, this one's funny. When you cast a card, reduce the cost of the first card in your hand by X. Then lose X life. X is the number of cards in your graveyard. I'll be honest, I don't know about this one. You know? I mean, the first thing you think about when you read all the things on this card is you think, oh my god, clearly this can, if I've got a big enough graveyard, this will just go infinite and cast every card that I ever have in my hand. And then the second thing you think is, oh, then it will kill me very quickly. Yeah, so I really don't know if there's any value in playing this card at all, you know? If there is some kind of combo that somehow gains an enormous amount of life, I kind of doubt it, because I haven't seen anything like that, really. Genesis Wave gains a bit of life. You're going to have to be gaining a lot of life in order to combo. So if you're not combo and just getting value, well, I don't know. It's really, without playing it, without testing it, it's really hard to kind of evaluate, to be perfectly honest. It is a permanent reduction in cost. So, I mean, you know, maybe you can just play it for value. I doubt it. I'm not going to be chasing it. Oh, one thing to watch out for is, I think somebody last week I think this might have happened in the Coalition event. Greg killed themselves with this card. Greg was playing the card. They killed themselves before whoever I was talking to managed to get their objectives. So this might be a nasty troll card. Hooray! I haven't really seen horrible troll cards in the environment for a while. But unless you count Gelter, I suppose you could call that. That's not really a troll card because she actually wins games. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's a use for this card. Have fun trying to find out. And then tell me about it if it is good. But yeah, you're going to have to build a very specific deck to make that a good card. And I kind of doubt it's possible. The Sibsig Ceremony. Is that fun to say? It's not as fun to say as Drooling Grudian, is it? At the beginning of turn, reduce the cost of creature cards in your hand by 1. We had just had this, didn't we? We had that thing that was reducing spell cards in your hand by 1 every turn. And it's not a powerful enough effect, is it? When a non-token creature you control dies, create a 2/2. Rubbish. Thunder of Unity. Discard your card and draw 4 cards without mana for 14 mana. I'm unexcited. However, let's see what chapters 2 and 3 do. Oh, okay. Well, that's odd. Oh, I think maybe Greg had this in, what's the new PvE event called? Can't remember what it's called, but I think he might have played it against me. It's a bit weird though, isn't it? You know? You would expect a chapter 1 like that to say, and then put some of those cards into play. Wouldn't you? That's what I'd expect anyway. So, yeah, bit rubbish. Trade Route Envoy. This is another dog soldier. When this creature enters a battlefield, if you control a buffed creature, draw a card. 7 mana 4/3. I mean, we're properly in, you know, all the way up to mid low shit territory with this. 7 mana 4/3. In fact, this is probably high low shit tier, isn't it? Yeah? This is the kind of, when you've been mastering cards as long as I have, this is the kind of card you beg for to be able to master. Please deal an appreciable amount of damage every turn to my opponent. Otherwise, this creature gets +1/+1. Yeah, high low shit tier. Dog Scout. When this creature attacks, fetch the first card from your library. If it's a land, it gains 3 mana. Right. Again, kind of high-low shit tier, isn't it? You know? Inti. It seems to be the direct point of comparison. I think there's, isn't there a rare, actually, that's got survival and... Does it fetch creatures or put? It's from Duskmourn. I think it either fetches creatures or draws a card and fills them half full of mana. Anyway, it's better than this. Yeah, this is like high low shit tier, but low shit tier. Twin Bolt, 2 damage to up the first 2 opposing creatures. You can tell what this was in paper, can't you? This is probably the kind of card that like just wrecks people in sealed deck tournaments, probably even drafts as well. Yeah, like a double removal spell, something like Scattershot, or is there one? I'm thinking there must be one in Urza's Block. I remember Symbiosis in Urza's Block. With Symbiosis was a card that did like 2 giant growths to 2 different creatures, and you just won games of it. All it did was give 2 target creatures gets +2/+2. And that was enough to absolutely destroy people in combat because it was an instant in a sealed environment and a draft environment. Didn't make any difference, above that. But so anyway, that's obviously what this kind of card was. That was the use of making it in paper. But here in Magic Puzzle Quest, it's not even really going to trouble the scorer in... somebody just said the Commoners' Cup, didn't they? No, this one's not even going to trouble the scorer in the Commoners' Cup, I'm afraid. Twinmoor Stormbrood. When it enters a battlefield, you gain 5 life. That's clearly rubbish. Deal 5 damage to target creature without flying. Right. 9 mana. 5 damage. Yeah, that's, you know, worse than this Exquisite Firecraft, isn't it? Which, when was the last time anyone played with Exquisite Firecraft? Unburied Earthcarver. When a non-token creature dies, this creature gets +1/+1. That kind of looks a lot like something. Again, I think there's something in Origins that does this. There's a Nantuko insect, isn't there, that gets like a non-permanent +2/+2. Pretty sure there's a 9-mana black spell that gets +1/+1 when creatures die. I'm not going to look it up. It's not very good. It wasn't very good then. It's not very good now. Underfoot Underdogs. It's a 9-mana 1/2. When this creature enters the battlefield, create a goblin token. Okay, so 9-mana 1/2 with a 1/1. Again, that sounds a lot like the kind of power level we're talking there. I'm pretty sure there's a 1/2 for 9 mana that creates a 1/1 Thopter in Origins. Activate 1. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 to the beginning of your next turn. And if the creature's base power 2 or less. Just a lot of words. Did they find these? Maybe this is what's going on. Maybe Octagon left a load of cards in a folder somewhere, like stuffed down the back of the sofa or behind the filing cabinet or something. Maybe Webcore found a lot of these and they're like, oh, these have got a lot of words on them. We should probably print these. Undergrowth Leopard. When this creature is destroyed or exiled, destroy an opposing support at random. Once again, my mind immediately leaps to Origins and Conclave Naturalists. This is a set that compares unfavourably to Origins. Unending Whisper, draw a card. Okay, fine. Again. Again. Origins, we're drawing a card, Artificer's Epiphany, for 2 mana. If you've got a support, it draws an extra card. I can't say I'm excited about Harmonise 4, though. United Battlefront. What have we got here? Pick 2. Okay, right, here we go. Pick 2 of the first enchantment or artifact cards from your library. If each of these cards costs 6 or less, that's a bit low, isn't it? Put those cards into play under your control. Then destroy the others. Honestly, you know, if I could get a Prism Array and an Insidious Will with this, maybe it'd be all right. Sadly, I think Insidious Will, pretty sure it doesn't have a type. Because it's a card they converted from being like an instant, isn't it? So they didn't bother giving it a type when they converted into MTGPQ. So we're fetching 2 cards, enchantment artifact, cost 6 or less, put him straight into play. Otherwise, fetch those cards gain 6 mana. I mean, that's a bit of a wordy way of saying fetch 2 cards and give them 6 mana, isn't it? I mean, yeah, okay, my internal Zidva is talking now and he's saying, well, actually, Steve, it's a bit different, isn't it? Putting things directly into play is a bit different from giving them 6 mana and then you casting them. It's a little bit different, isn't it? I mean, yeah, but is it really worth putting all those extra words on the card for that minute, minuscule difference that almost never makes a difference at all? I mean, I'm playing Golden Wish. Don't know about you. Unsparring Boltcaster. Unsparring? Is that a word? Unsparing. Yeah, okay. He's unsparing. All right. When this creature enters the battlefield, deal 4 damage to a random opposing creature. Again, better not make this cost 11. That'll be bad, wouldn't it? Oof, Irene, the Song Unending. When this creature enters the battlefield, deal X damage to your opponent's creatures and planeswalker. X is the number of cards you control, including their reinforcements. Okay, so number one, I remember saying this was a chase card. I mean, I kind of don't see that at all. 22 mana for a 10/10. I mean, again, if you're playing a 22 mana card quickly by playing it off, I don't know, Sylvan Tutor or Galter or whatever, however you're cheating it into play, I would argue the power is coming from that other card and not from this card. So I don't see it being a chase card. And then point two is Madren was looking at this card actually in our Discord earlier today. I think I read a message, and apparently it can't damage a Planeswalker unless that Planeswalker also has creatures. Madren was looking at this as kind of a win condition to put in the old Loop Hero deck. Yeah, so one thing about the Loop Hero deck is that certainly the version that we were both running last weekend with Tameo, it was. It's got to attack, you know. It actually has to wait to attack. You play with Tyvar. It's like it attacks with haste. You don't have to wait a turn. But you do have to actually attack. Whereas a card like this, if you were going to play this in a Loop Hero deck, and of course Loop Hero is playing everything for free, it doesn't care about costs. Just dealing damage straight to somebody's face is, is maybe a little bit quicker than actually having to wait and attack. But yeah. It doesn't do that because apparently currently it can't deal damage. I don't know if it's a bug, don't know if it'll get fixed. Often things like this that, like, that it would be nice if they were better, but they're not, strictly speaking, bugs. They don't tend to get fixed, do they? So I don't like it. I don't see a use for it. It goes in the bin. High shit tier. Draining mana. Oh, look at me. I've actually mastered some of this card. Some. Draining mana. And look at that. Harmonize. Sorry. Harmonize 5. Again, they're just making these numbers up, aren't they? Harmonize. Give it Harmonize 1. What's the fucking damage? Nobody's going to play it anyway. Where's the damage? Giving it Harmonize 1. Where did 5 come from? Venerated Stormslinger. It's another one of those Mobilize 1 cards. Now, Mobilize has generally been really disappointing so far, hasn't it? I mean, we saw that early card that is giving its Mobilize tokens. It was giving them Berserker and Death Touch, wasn't it? So that was an interesting thing to do with the Mobilize tokens. But pretty much everything else we've seen with Mobilize tokens just isn't doing anything exciting with it. Look at this. When a non-token creature dies, there's perfect opportunity for synergy here with the Mobilize tokens, and it can't even bring it. No, that would be too good. Can't even bring itself to give an extra little bit of damage off the tokens it generates itself. When this creature enters the battlefield... Yeah, did you notice, actually? Earlier on in the set, I was like, there were bits of design that I was pulling out and saying I found them quite interesting. But what's happening today is that the designs that I'm seeing today are, like, really bad. Like, conceptually bad. Not the power level of the card, but the designs on the card are just conceptually bad. And this is one of them. Veteran Ice Climber. When this creature enters the battlefield, it gains unblockable, right? So give it unblockable then. That's weird. When this creature attacks, destroy the first X cards of your opponent's library. X is equal to this creature's power. Which is 1. I mean, yeah, there've been times, I can't remember what those times were, There have been times when I played that old... There's a merfolk, isn't it? And it basically does this. You point it at somebody, a target player, and it destroys the top X cards of their deck. And it's like a 7-mana 3/2 or something like that. Now, even that's low power. I can't remember when I was actually playing that. Probably in no kind of situation where it made any sense to. But, yeah. I don't know, that one wasn't Origins. Origins wasn't concerned with destroying cards from the top of libraries. That came later on, but again, this card has been bettered by a card in the past. Voice of Victory. Your opponent can't cast cards during your turn. Right. I mean, why would we care about that? We're getting 5 tokens a turn that die. But yeah, you need to put some thought into, you know, how... Again, that probably does something in Paper Magic. There might be a use case for it in Paper Magic. Not here. There are not. Whale of War, choose one. Oh, I'm glad you're getting some choose cards. These are basically flip cards, aren't they? Choose cards. I like flip cards. I don't think I'm going to like this one. I can just tell. Opposing creatures get -2/-2 until the beginning of your next turn. Rubbish. Return the last 2 creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. Rubbish. Okay, that was not good. At the beginning of your turn, create a Mardu Warrior token. Right, so that's a 1/1 that dies. Okay. So for 14 mana, you could get the Vanguard Elspeth and put an average of about 7 tokens down a turn that stay in play. Or for 12 mana, you can get 1 token that, admittedly, look, it gets +1/+0. Yeah, but then dies. Warden of the Grove. The point is, this isn't even half as good, is it? You kind of think to yourself, don't you? You know, with the way that, you know, commons are 1/1s and uncommons are 2/2s and rares are 4/4s and mythics are 8/8. I don't know where I've got that from. But you think there's kind of a doubling of power between tiers. This is 7 times worse than Elspeth. Warden of the Grove. It's the way I'm holding my tablet. I'm sorry it keeps popping into the background all the time. It's because I'm wandering around holding my tablet in my hands. And if I don't overlap the screen a little bit, it's going to fall out of my hands and smash on the floor. So that's why it keeps doing that. Warden of the Grove. At the end of your turn, this creature gets +1/+1. Unexciting. When a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, endure 2. I mean, this gets to be in high shit tier, I suppose. I mean, low high shit tier. Maybe high mid shit tier. Yeah. Mid-high mid shit tier? Yeah, mid-high mid shit tier. No, let's not be confusing about this. Yeah, mid shit tier, but maybe high mid shit tier. Somewhere in mid shit tier anyway. But mid shit tier. Watcher of the Wayside. When this creature enters the battlefield, destroy the first 2 cards of your opponent's library, then gain 5 life. Oh, I mean, yeah, again, look. 6 mana just from the stats. 6 mana 3/2. High-low shit tier. Wayfarer's Bauble. Interesting. I mean, this is, I want to say, common or uncommon in Paper. This is Masterpiece here. Activate 5. This support loses 1 shield. Bad start. When this support is destroyed, fetch the first land card from your library. That card gains full mana. Oh dear me, no. No, so it's 7 mana with 2 shields. You've got to hit activate 5 gems twice. I mean, you could technically do 2 of them in a single turn. There are better ways to go and get a land. In fact, if you want to get a land for full mana, I'll tell you what this compares unfavourably to. Those fetch lands in PM2. Do you remember those? I did not like those at the time. And do you know what? I still don't really. But I have played. There have been opportunities to play with them. There are some great lands around. I don't need to go into the fact that there are great lands in Standard again. But yeah, anytime you might want to play with Wayfarer's Bauble, go and look at the fetch lands. The ones with Mana Field in PM2. And I think you'll find they're better than Wayfarer's Bauble. Wayspeaker Bodyguard. When it enters the battlefield, return a random card from your graveyard to your hand. We don't care. Alignment blue. The first opposing creature gains stun counter 1. Honestly, this is kind of creeping into mid-shit tier, isn't it? Yeah? I mean, if this cost 11, you might really think about playing this in Colours of Magic, wouldn't you? Because it wouldn't be too hard. You'd think maybe, or maybe it would. I don't know. But maybe it wouldn't be too hard to play a string of blue cards and giving your opponent's first creature, only his first. It's not like you can lock down a load of different stuff. But yeah, it's a 12 mana 3/4 with this interesting stun counter effect. You might be creeping out of low shit tier, but only to the very bottom of mid shit tier. Whirlwind Stormbrood. Spell and dragon cards in your hand gain flash, or you really don't care about that. Is that a shark? Is that dragon a shark? That dragon looks like a shark to me. It's a Sharktagon. I'm fine with that. Target creature gets +3/+3 permanently. Well, I better get it permanently for 14 mana. Again, look at huge harmonized cost. Target creature gets +3/+0 and gains haste. It's ridiculous, ridiculously underpowered, this set. Right, here we go. We're going to see some wills now. There's Will of the Teamer at the end. That's the one we're waiting for. I don't know how many of these are going to be any good, to be perfectly honest. But oh, look, and they're yeah, okay. So they're all choose ones. Yeah. So there are 2 different chances for these cards not to suck. So maybe this is what the set's for. Yeah. Maybe we've just wasted our time on the last 262 cards. Because when we got to the seasons in Bloomborough, I mean, they were kind of okay, weren't they? I've seen people playing the blue one and the red one, definitely. It's probably the one that most played. And even the black one, and then probably definitely not the white one. What was the green? Yeah, the green one sucked a bit. But, Will of the Abzan. Here we go. 7 mana. That's nice and cheap, isn't it? Play that off a single match. Option A. The first opposing creature with the greatest power gets -10/-10, and your opponent loses 10 life. Right. So, mostly kills things. Doesn't kill a Galter. That might not be a terrible thing if option B is good. Return the first creature from target graveyard to the battlefield under your control. There you go. That's a card, isn't it? So we've got a reanimation effect. That's pretty cheap at 7 mana. And then stapled to this reanimation effect, if you don't want that, you've got creature kill, which is, like I say, this is not perfect creature kill because there are things it doesn't kill. But there's plenty of stuff it does kill. And if you're going to put unreliable creature kill on a card, you put it on something like this, don't you? Again, this is not a chase card. This is not getting into tier 1, I'm afraid. But finally, we've got to a card that doesn't just absolutely suck. There's a world in which this is really good. Not necessarily this world, though. Right, that's a good start. Here we go. Will of the Jeskai. Choose one. Discard your hand and draw 3 cards. Those cards gain half their mana rounded down. Right. I don't know. Doesn't seem great, does it? It seems all right. We're comparing this to, I want to say, Hit the Motherlode. People play with Hit the Motherlode, don't they? You know, what does that do? Give you 2 cards that are half full of mana. But you do get to kind of choose what they are a bit, don't you? And doesn't it make a bunch of gold as well? So, again, you know, kind of passable. All the way, definitely all the way out of shit tier. But not sure it's getting much above mid tier, to be honest, so far. Anyway, there's more though. Option B, return the first 3 spell cards from your graveyard to your hand. Those cards gain half their mana. Right. So you're always getting 3 cards with half their mana in them. So you're either discarding your whole hand and drawing 3 cards. Right, that's okay. I'd prefer it if it was making Greg discard his hand as well. You know, something like Time Reverse, you know. Everyone discards their hand and everyone draws 3 cards. And then just you get the mana. I'd prefer something like that. Because that's the real power of Time Reversal, is making Greg discard his hand. Or return the first 3 spell cards from your graveyard to your hand. These cards gain half their mana. Yeah, like I say, it's not a shoo-in anywhere. I mean, it's perfectly decent, but I'm not sure it's much above mid. It's definitely we're definitely not chasing this one. Will of the Mardu. Choose one. Option A, create an Ogre Warrior token. I bet that's going to be a 3/3, isn't it? It's a 4/3, in fact. Okay, so that's not particularly exciting. Oh no, but we get to reinforce it. Okay, so we're creating a 4/3, and then we're reinforcing it where X is the number of opposing creatures. But I notice it's not looking at reinforcement. So if your opponent has, like, you know, a stack of, say, insect tokens, let's say your opponent, for some reason, had put like 40 or 50 insect tokens in play last turn. I don't know how he could have done that. Let's just say he did. This is going to come into play and get reinforced once. So that's not great, to be perfectly honest, you know? I mean, that is a 7 mana 4/3 that might well be an 8, quite easily be an 8/6. I mean, that's a high shit tier card. But for a masterpiece, we want better than that. Option B, deal Y damage to target creature your opponent controls, and you gain Y life. Y is the number of creatures you control, including their reinforcements. I mean, that's a bit weird, isn't it? It looks at reinforcements for option B, but not for option A. Option A is kind of where you really want it to look for reinforcements, isn't it? Deal Y damage to target creature your opponent controls. And that's the number of creatures you control, including their reinforcements. Right. So you can either make a creature, or you can fight with it. Yeah, I mean, this is looking a bit high shit tier to me, to be perfectly honest. Don't like that one as much as the other two. Will of the Sultai. Okay, now the Sultai are my bunch. Sultai, I believe, are black, blue, and green. I am still waiting for a Sultai Planeswalker. I'm not sure there even is one in the game of paper, but I think they should just, you know, convert some legends. The thing about paper is they're not going to be making as many Planeswalkers from now on. They figured out that they were making too many Planeswalkers before. And considering that Planeswalkers by default can't actually be commanders, and Commander is probably the most played format these days in paper, they're making more legends and less Planeswalkers. So that means that we're not going to be getting so many Planeswalkers, new Planeswalkers for our game. So fuck it, convert some Sultai legends, please. Anyway, this one's more expensive than the rest at 13 mana. Option A, destroy the top 4 cards of your life. Well, this is the green one, so it's going to be shit, isn't it? Green Notoriously being the worst colour in Magic. Actually, that's not true. It used to be many years ago. I still remember the days when green was the worst colour in Magic, but I think it's probably red these days, isn't it? Destroy the top 4 cards of your library. That's paper, incidentally. There was a period of time, I think, maybe a year back, when red might have been the best colour in MTGPQ. Destroy the top 4 cards of your library. Then return the first 3 land cards with base cost 12 or less to the battlefield under your control. Now, let's just do a little bit of a stock take, shall we? Because I think if I go over to my PC, I can't believe I can't remember this, but I'm pretty sure that Desert costs 13, doesn't it? Which would be a bit of a shame. Where's the card lookup channel? Card lookup channel. Desert. Costs 13. Yes, it does. That's a bit of a shame. So it'll fetch Demolition Field. And it's not digging that far to look for them, isn't it? It's destroying 4 cards from your library. I mean, of course, you might be playing Grist and you might be dumping cards in the graveyard as well. But again, I think you've probably got more power playing Grist than with this card. You probably don't want to be playing this card. We can get Swarm Yards out with this. Yeah, I mean, the value of Swarm Yard is not putting it into play later in the game. You can get Desert out with this. You can get Demolition Field. You can't get Desert. Desert would be the kind of card you would want late game. The kind of land you would really want late game to be coming out with this thing. Option B. Target creature gets +X/+X and trample. X is the sum of the shields of all land supports you control. Okay. I mean, again, there might be some people who like playing with this card, but it's not me. It's the worst one of these so far, I think. And now we get to the best one, because the blue's always the best one, isn't it? I remember this being good. I've looked at this. I remember it going. I can't remember what it did. Let's have a look. 16 mana. So this is the most expensive one. Option A, create a copy of a random non-token creature card you control in your hand. Okay. That's not great. That card gains full mana. So it's been this card was floated to me as a card that might go into the Loop Hero deck. You know, if you're copying a Phenomenon Investigators or a Bright Glass Gear Hulk or a Capricious Hellraiser with it, then it just, you know, it's another free card that just carries on the loop. But now the fact it's a random card doesn't hamstring you too much. If it was a random one in play, but it's not a random one in play, it's a random one in your hand, so you might not have one in hand. So that's not great. It's an option. It's an option for the loop deck. I mean, the loop deck does often. There are ways certainly to not be. You don't really, with the loop deck, you don't really want to be always just having one card in your hand and playing the next one single card, because you're going to hit Tyvar. We're going to hit whatever your win condition card is, and the loop will stop, don't you? But there are plenty of ways to expand the size of your hand when you're playing it. Another round is a good example. You know, if you've got 2 different creatures, it'll copy the 2 creatures, and all of a sudden, if you play the first one and your loop might have stopped, you've got a second one full of mana. So it's an option for the loop deck, but given that it's a creature card you already have to have in your hand, I don't know. But there's option B as well. Draw 3 cards, then gain X mana. X is the greatest mana cost among cards you control up to 15. So you certainly might control a Bright Glass Gear Hulk. Costs 20, that'll give you 15 mana. Or you might control a Phenomenon Investigators. So you'd gain 11 mana. So, I mean, it seems to me that if you want to put this in your Loop Hero deck, you're going to have to kind of really track what's in your hand. It's kind of not hard when you're casting it to just look across to your hand and see if you've got a creature to choose option A. It's a little harder to determine what the cost of the top card in your hand is that comes next, to see whether the loop is gonna stop there or not, because there are cards in the Loop Hero deck that cost less than 15, and there are cards that cost more than 15. So, and again, you know, not always a problem if you if it doesn't play the next card in your hand, because maybe you've played a lock and load, you know, and you've got 2 cards sitting at the bottom of your hand that are full of mana anyway, and the loop's going to keep going, you know. And then, of course, Tempt with Discovery is an important part of that deck, you know, and that can fill up all of the cards in your hand that are half full of mana. But I don't know, it's worth testing in that deck, this card. It seems a little ropey, but it's certainly in the right ballpark for it. What about outside the context of this loop deck, Steve? What about if we're just going to play this card? Let's say you just want to get some value. Are you just going to play it in standard and build it into, say, a control deck? I mean, you're not going to play this with Mystical Teachings, are you? Well, I'm not. My Mystical Teachings package is pretty solid, to be honest. I got Mystical Teachings, I've got Golden Wish, I've got Requisition Raid, and that is pretty rock solid, to be perfectly honest. I don't think I'm going to start redesigning the deck into something, taking one or more of those cards out, into something that takes full advantage of Will of the Teemo. It's good. It's all right. It's not a chase card, again. I don't consider this to be a chase card, to be honest. If you are building the Loop Hero deck, chase some of the other cards in that deck. Chase Genesis Wave, for God's sake, before you get this. Windcrag Sea. Maybe I like the black one the best, weirdly enough. And even that's, you know, kind of mid, isn't it? But, you know, I just like, you know, it's nice and cheap. 2 very solid effects. They're all okay. I'm not chasing any of them, though. Windcrag Siege. As you can see in the background, I have 9,559 crystals. I was grinding an awful lot when PM2 came out. But I don't think I'm going to be spending any of those on this set at all, to be honest. Save them all up for next set. Windcrag Siege. At the beginning of your turn, create a goblin. It gains lifelink and haste. Right. So for 17 mana, we're putting a single 1/1 into play every turn. At the beginning of your turn, if you control 1 or less non-token creatures, your first creature gains double strike. Again, I don't know, seems kind of low powered, doesn't it? So you're allowed to have the goblin, the stack of goblins, you're allowed to have one other non-token creature. Well, I mean, you could have 3 token creatures. This does happen to me sometimes when I'm playing, say, for example, I'm playing with Daxos, yeah? Daxos, I might have a stack of Elspeth soldier tokens. I might have Daxos's first ability token that's pretty good in it. And maybe I'll have some toys as well coming out of Dollmaker's shop. So you can have, it'll still give something double strike if if they're all tokens, but you're allowed one single non-token creature. Yeah, you notice I was talking there about my Daxos deck, you know, so my Daxos deck is spitting out token creatures with Elspeth. It's powering them up with Dollmaker's Shop. Flip side of Dollmaker's Shop, Porcelain Gallery turns all those 1/1s into 4/4s. Now what this is doing is giving your 1/1s double strike. So it's only ×2 damage, ×4 damage on the other thing. This is more expensive than any of those other cards I've been talking about. So, yeah. I mean, we can definitely call this high shit tier. But not much better than that, actually. Alignment Blue, create a bird token. Yeah, well, that's rubbish. I think we're just going to be dribs and drabs for the rest of the set, probably. We're probably back to terrible. We had a bit of excitement there with all these masterpieces, but I think we're into terrible commons once again, aren't we? Your first creature gets +1/+1 on flying. Return this card to your hand. It's got 1 shield. I mean, I don't even know what they were thinking with this design. Winter Night Stories. You may discard the last creature card from your hand. This is a spell. Okay. So you play this card and the last creature card. That's an odd choice. If you do, draw 3 cards. And it's got Harmonise 2. Oh, this was a spoiler card. I think this is a spoiler card, wasn't it? I mean, I'm not playing with this card. Bad, isn't it? Better than some, but bad. Worthy cost. You may destroy target creature you control. If you do, exile target opposing creature. We've seen this a few times recently, haven't we? We've seen this card. This is the cheapest version of it. And I think you've just got to admit defeat at this point and say you just can't be done. You know? You can't make a card that destroys one of your opponent's creatures and one of your creatures, if that's all it does. You have to make it do a lot more than that. I think you've basically just got to give up on this entire concept. How about this? Exile target opposing creature. There you go. There's a card. 3 mana. Why not? Power creep. Why the hell not? Yathan Roadwatcher. When this creature enters the battlefield, destroy the top 4 cards of your library. Then return the first creature card with base mana cost 11 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. I notice it doesn't cost 11. Okay. So you can't get a chain of them going off. I mean, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't get an infinite chain of them going off anyway, but 11 or less. Oh, it's odd, isn't it? Because 11 or less immediately makes you think of Colours of Magic. But would you play this in Colours of Magic? It's going to take you 2 turns. That's very slow. Very, very slow, 2 turns. How about make it cost 11, but it can't get itself out? Yeah, you see that written on cards. Yeah. A card that, like Bright Glass Gearhulk does it, doesn't it? You know, if that card is not named Bright Glass Gearhulk. So how about that? There's a card, yeah? It costs 11, and then gets the first creature card with base cost 11 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. You'd probably play that, wouldn't you? In Colours of Magic. But not this one. Too slow. Yathan Tombguard. When a modified creature, can anyone remember what the hell that was? Buffed or have Pilot Evergreen? Okay. Why not just say buffed? Well, it's kind of ugly terminology, buffed, isn't it? It's like kicker. The original Paper Magic has kicker, and it's a word they took from Cosmic Encounter. And, you know, also, yes, the English language, admittedly, but I'm pretty sure because, you know, early players of Magic were such, early designers of Magic were such fans of Cosmic Encounter. I'm pretty sure that's where they got it from. That's the only place I've seen it in a game, Kicker. But it doesn't, it describes what the card does, but it doesn't have a particularly magical feel to it, does it? And that's what I think about buffed as well. People understand it. It's like milled as well. People understand the term milling cards. It doesn't have particular magical feel. It's not particularly flavourful. But modified is even worse, isn't it? Because frankly, even though it sounds a little bit more like a word that happens in a fantasy world, the fact of the matter is you have to tap on the bloody icon to be able to understand what it does. So anyway, when a buffed creature, that's what I do, you control, deals combat damage to your opponent's planeswalker, draw a card, then you lose 3 life. I mean, that fucking sucks. Again, we're going back to Origins for 8 mana, Sigilled Starfish, yeah? None of this buffed bollocks, you just get a card every turn. None of this losing life bollocks. No, Origins was too powerful, apparently. All of the bad cards in Origins were too powerful, at any rate. Zergo Stormrender. Right, come on, we've got 3 cards left. This is our last masterpiece. This is our last chance for a good card. When another creature you control dies, and it's going to happen because he's got Mobilize 1, 10 mana 3/3. If you have 5 or less cards in your hand, draw a card. That card gains half its mana rounded down. Otherwise, your opponent loses 3 life. So again, we're doing the not quite a mana filler giver thing, but for 10 mana. You know? I mean, I play Marvo, who's not quite a mana filler giver, for 8 mana. Doesn't sound like it's a lot less than 10, but you know what Marvo does? Marvo, like, rips Galters off the top of Greg's deck and completely pays for them. It's a not quite a mana filler giver, but the ways in which it's different can sometimes make it much more powerful. So yeah, this is for less mana you're playing Marvo. For more mana, the usual suspects: Loot, Cruel Claw, Dragon Hawk, and I don't think anybody's playing this one, I'm afraid. I should probably elevate him out of high shit tier, but again, not a chase card, not a card anyone's interested in because there are always better options. Zergo Thunder's Decree. Right, this is the same. Yes, okay, it is in fact I know they're legendary, aren't they? So it is the same guy. At the beginning of combat on your turn, your other warrior creatures gain shield counter 2. Now, right. I'm just wondering to myself for a second whether shield counter was going to stop the warrior tokens from killing themselves, but I believe shield counter says on it, when an opposing source would make this card take damage to be destroyed or lose shield. Right. So a bit fucking pointless, really, isn't it? Because it doesn't give itself... You've got 3 creature slots. It doesn't give itself shield counter 2. The shield counters, and I don't even know if the timing rules say that it's going to give the Mardu warrior tokens shield counter. But if it does, it doesn't matter on those. So you've got to have a 3rd warrior for it to mean anything at all. And it's a 14 mana 2/4. Garbage. Mid-shit tier. Zergo's Vanguard. 18 mana 2/3. Fuck me. Oh. This creature gets plus X plus naught, and the X is the number of creatures you control, including their reinforcements. Right, it's going to put one single mobilized creature into play. You're probably not even going to want to put that mobile. You're probably going to fill up those creature slots so you don't even get that creature token in order to give this plus X plus naught. But it's bad. It's just a bad set. It's a bad set. It's all bad. Even the good cards are not chase cards. Save all your resources for the next set. That's all I've got to say about this set, you know? Get the good cards from the last sets, yeah? I did say, didn't I, when I said this set came out, the chase card was Bright Glass Gear Hulk, and I stand by that. That is the chase card. Get hold of that one. Because Bright Glass Gear Hulk is going to go into other decks other than just this loop hero deck. Yeah. Let's hope this set has some good vanguards. That's all we can hope for, really, because everything I've seen is either garbage or singularly unimpressive. And yeah, I worry if this is what we get when they're rushing the sets out. Rushing. You know, when they don't take the normal care and attention that they normally do with Magic Puzzle Quest sets. This might be the future of Magic, everybody. Oh dear. Don't like it anyway. Anyway, thanks for coming along for the ride. I'm sorry it's been quite depressing this time around. More so because I wanted this to be the new Streets of New Capenna. I really did. And it's nothing like it. Will of the Sultai goes with Calney Garden. Sorry, I've just checked the chat for the first time in a gazillion years. Yes, Will of the Sultai will, won't it, go with Calney Garden, which is another green card. This is a very good point. Yeah, thanks for being in. Like I say, it's been a bit of a depressing one, but just think you can sit on all of your enormous piles of jewels and crystals, and then just jump on the next set when that comes out. Because you think they'll correct in the next set, won't you? They'll probably notice people are buying less cards in this set. You'd think. So they'll probably course correct in the next set. And that will be in about 2 months' time. Now, there should be an announcement coming up. They said they're going to talk about this in Mana Echoes number 5. The newsletter they post on the Magic Puzzle Quest forum is going to be about the next set. The next set is, I believe, Final Fantasy. We're probably not going to get an IP version of that set. But they're going to tell us what they're going to do. Maybe they'll make an old set. We don't know. But we are excited to find out. Hello, Zipper. You've just joined us at the end. The whole stream, by the way... Oh, I don't know. Maybe you've been watching the whole way through. But the whole stream is, of course, available on my YouTube channel. You've got at least a couple of shout-outs this time round for this set, Ziva, and I think maybe 1 or 2 of them I even said positive things. So let me stop wittering on and let you all get back to your lives, and I'll get back to my life. It's been a blast, and I'll see you all in about 2 months' time. Bye-bye, everybody.